Good morning, friends. It's Carrie from Stretch Chi. We're going to have stretching class today because it's Saturday at 9 a.m. I hope you guys are doing well. I had an idea for class today. Usually I pull a yoga card and we work through the yoga deck. But today my body is kind of mad at me, mainly because it's May, which is high allergy season in Chicago, but also I'm having an allergy test done this week and I'm not allowed to take antihistamines. So uh, I'm having a little bit of like trouble breathing. My chest is tight. Life is not happy. Well, I'm happy. My body, on the other hand, not so happy. So I was thinking today would be a great day to do a ton of problem solving. Now, a couple things real quick. I am using this fancy new microphone, which apparently sometimes just conks out and it will start sounding like thunder. So if any of you are on the chat and you notice that the microphone gives out, let me know right away. I'm trying to figure out what's causing it. I don't know why, but fingers crossed will be good for class, okay? But I can always turn it off if if that's life. Um, for the rest of you, yeah, this is on. Everything's good. Also, it looks like my internet stream seems a little slow right now. It keeps going from like slow to excellent. It just goes back and forth. So if it conks out on us and we get kicked off or it really pauses, then I'm just going to restart and reboot everything and try again. Okay. We are at the mercy of electronics, and I'm a very analog kind of person. So I'm learning bit by bit, but hopefully this internet kicks in and we'll be all right. Okay. It sometimes just takes a second to catch up and be like, oh, right, we're working now. Now, today I really want to focus on problem solving your body. And we've talked in class a lot, if you've been here before, about how to determine whether you should be doing a stretch or whether you shouldn't be doing a stretch, or whether you should move in smaller ranges of motion, or whether you should just dive right into the stretch. And how do you know, right? For those of you who are new to Ki-Hara, if this is your first time on my channel, welcome to this world. I'm going to teach you how to understand how your body works and how to stretch to heal yourself, to understand if a stretch is going to be healing for you or if it's going to be like bad for you. And so I just want to talk to you real quick about what really constitutes a problem, because this is really important for you to understand. So here, I just made this thing for my students this week, and I thought it would be fun to share it with you guys today. If you are stretching in any of these Ki-Hara stretches and the stretch feels great, if I tell you what muscle it's supposed to be in and you feel it there, then you're good. If you feel like exploring the stretch deeper, like it feels like you kind of want to wiggle into the stretch, or you want to feel the stretch deeper, like it feels like a relief, then that means that it's a good stretch. If your breathing is really easy, if you feel like you could do a million of these stretches, like I always know I'm in a good stretch when I'm like, I could do this all day, right? That means that you're in a good stretch. Also, if you feel good, if you feel like you could talk to someone, clearly we're in the room by ourselves, but if you feel like you can enjoy the stretch, if you feel happy in it, then this is a good stretch for you. But what does it mean if a stretch is not good for you, right? What does that mean? Of course, any pain at all, then that stretch is not effective. And by bad stretch, I mean the stretch is not for you. Like you should not be doing it at all. Okay, it means that maybe you need to do a little problem solving. Maybe you need to just abandon the stretch. It could mean that you need to work in a smaller range of motion, but a lot of times, like, just let it go. Just don't even do it. So pain, of course, any kind of cramping. If I tell you you're supposed to feel it in one muscle, excuse me, and you don't, then that would be another one. Like if I tell you you're supposed to feel it in the back of your shoulder and you feel it in the front, then you have a problem. And no matter how many times you do that stretch, you're not going to fix it until you stretch out the muscle in the front. If you find that you're holding your breath, if you feel very fatigued or it feels like a struggle, if it feels confusing to do that stretch, if there's any fear at all, like you think like I might break my leg doing the stretch, or like I might, if I show you a stretch and you're like, I don't know, then that says that that's a bad stretch for you, right? Of course, balance. If you feel like you're going to fall over, then you're either too deep into a stretch or that's not your stretch. And of course, any kind of emotional sensation that feels like a low emotion, like anger, frustration, sadness, I mean, the confusion, I already said that, but like any kind of negative emotional response, like if you're just like, I hate this stretch, or I only want to do 2 of them, then that would constitute a problem. Now, this is really important, really, really important. And as we keep working through these stretches, you guys are going to notice that I start to tell you, like, how does a stretch feel? What does it feel like? You should do it this way, or you should do it that way. And basically what we're going to find out is which stretches work well for you and which ones don't. And then we're going to revisit them. So we're going to do a lot of problem solving today and see how that works out for you guys. Okay. Now let's go ahead to our mats. And I will need to make sure that I get this camera in the right place. And of course, just like I said before, if you guys hear me in a funny way, just put a note in the chat if the microphone goes out, okay? Of course, any of you who pop into class, let me know who you are. If you're watching this after the fact, let me know too. Just send me a note in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I love to know who's doing my stretches today. All right, so let's start out with this stretch for your glutes. You're going to lay on your back. This muscle group is right here in your glutes against your butt and to the side of your leg maybe. We're going to do the right leg first. So if you do not feel the stretch here, or if you feel pain, if you feel anything opposite, like in your inner thighs or in your hips, then you need to stop doing the stretch. We're going to do about 5 repetitions and then switch sides, and then we'll revisit the stretch in a second, okay? After we've cleaned some stuff up. So lay on your back, put your right leg on top of your left leg, reach through and grab your left leg with both hands, and resist by pushing your right leg away so that your arms feel like they're going to fly apart. And then you just pull in for your stretch. And you go back and forth, out for strength and in for stretch, finding that stretch in the outside of your hip on the right side. And again, if it doesn't feel good, or if you feel mad at me for making you do the stretch, if it feels painful, if you have any cramping, if the joint feels unstable, if you feel fearful, then just stop doing the stretch. We're going to come back to it after we've cleaned some things up. But if it feels good, then go for it. You could even do like 10 of these stretches if it feels good, but you know, we're going to come back to it later anyway, and it'll be even better. All right, now let's switch sides. So bring your left leg on top of your right leg. Reach through and grab your right leg with both hands. Push out with your left leg and pull in for your stretch. And you just go back and forth. Out for strength and in for stretch. Now, I also want to say to you guys, if this is your first time doing Ki-Hara and you've come into a group class like this and you just feel very confused, it could be because you just need to move a little slower in your Ki-Hara practice. So I would suggest going to my YouTube channel and checking out some of my other videos, like maybe some of the stretch by stretch playlist. That'll teach you each stretch one by one. Also, there's an entire playlist called Stretching for the Inflexible. It doesn't really matter if you're flexible or not. They're just really accessible stretches for everybody. So you can check out those videos. There's 4 videos, and each one links into a problem-solving video. So if you find that one stretch is not good, it takes you right into the next one, like into a different video to clean up your problems, okay? So let's go ahead and lay on our back, and we're going to do a stretch for your inner thighs next. So this stretch you should feel here on the inside muscles. These are called your adductors. And you're going to put your feet up straight to the ceiling. If your hamstrings are tight, just bend your knees. Grab your knees on the inside with your hands. I've turned my thumbs down. You're going to squeeze in for strength and then use your arms to open you up into a wide leg split. You should feel your inner thighs. If you feel anything bad in this one, you just stop doing it. I will say, though, that if you're shaking, that's okay. But if you feel any pain, like if your back hurts, if this hurts in your shoulders, if your hips feel pinchy, if you feel anything in your glutes, then you've got a problem, and you can just let it go because we'll come back to it later. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but the way that Ki-Hara works, the way that this method works, is that every muscle works as a team with other muscles. And sometimes you just need to unlock some other things to get this one to unlock. So you just work around the circle, you work around your hips, you work around your different muscles to see if you can find the solution to the problem. There's usually just a barrier that needs to be fixed. And then once you can find that barrier, then it's no problem, right? You'll see. Just you wait. I'll show you. All right, now let's come into a lunge here. Bring your right leg in the front, your left leg behind, and you're going to try to scissor your legs together. So your front leg is trying to pull back and your back leg is trying to kick forward. From here, you'll let your right leg win, and that's going to pull you into a lunge. You feel the hip on the left side, so just find that stretch there and pull back. Now, if you're having trouble figuring this stretch out, it could be because you've got some confusion over it. Maybe you need to problem solve. If you feel anything in the back of your hip here, if you feel anything on your right leg, then we'll have some problem solving to do. So just hold tight, skip this stretch, get a glass of water, whatever you need, and we'll return to it later. Now, I would say most people who come to my group classes before lockdown, when I could actually be face to face with people, most of the people who came to my group classes the first time had about 20% of their body that was working properly. So, and it's not like improper, it's just that they're muscle imbalances, and it's something that we build in life. Like, it's just something that happens. We build muscle imbalances. Let's switch sides, and then I'll continue with this thought. Your left leg in the front, you're going to try to pull that leg back. Your back leg is going to try to pull forward, and you just pull back and forth. Pay attention to see if you have any pain, anything uncomfortable. It could be that your hip feels locked up. It could be that your front leg feels a little uncomfortable. It could be, gosh, I'm feeling knee pain here, like my leg, like my tibia right here. Feels uncomfortable on the ground, and that's not normal for me. So that tells me that there's something going on. I don't usually have that kind of pain in my hip. So that's when you would abandon the stretch, just stop doing it. Okay. But like I was saying before, about every once in a while I get somebody who's pretty balanced, but I would say typically when people start doing Ki-Hara, they recognize that only about 20% of their muscles are really firing perfect. And then as they do it, maybe in class, in that 1 hour class, you can get to the point where maybe 60% of your muscles are working. And then depending on what happens during your week or whatever, you might move down to 40%, but you probably won't end up back at 20% again of only 20% of your muscles working. You increase it over time. And then as you continue coming back to class, you'll end up at a point where you can get 100% of your muscles active and firing in the exact right way in class. You might have to do a little problem solving every once in a while, but usually people can get to the point where their entire body is working pretty regularly all the time. Of course, then life happens and you do something funny. I don't know what I did to my leg that now it hurts to be on my knee, but I'll fix it today and it'll be fine. But life comes up and then we have these little things that hit us that we have to work through. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Okay, so now lay on your back and we're going to do a stretch for your hamstring. Bring your right leg up and grab the ball of your foot with both hands. Kick your heel down towards your glutes and at the same time pull up with your arms. So my arms are winning and then my leg wins. And then your arms win. And then your leg wins. And you just go back and forth, down for strength and up for stretch. Finding that stretch in your hamstring right here. If you feel anything different, then skip it. If the stretch makes you mad, skip it, right? If the stretch feels uncomfortable, if you have any pinching in the front of your hips, then let it go. But if it feels great, stick with it. And if you're ready to switch sides, go for it. Bring your left leg up, kick your heel down towards your body, and then pull your arm up over your head to find that stretch in the back of your hip, back of your hamstring here. You should feel the whole belly of the muscle. If you only feel it in your calves or just at your knees, that would be a sign of a problem because we want to find the stretch in the belly of the muscle. And you find that by resisting the whole time that you're stretching. Kicking down for strength, and as you pull up, your leg is fighting you the whole time. So you're going to find that resistance stretch. It's a little different than normal stretching. All right, now that we've done those 4 muscles, they work together as a team. So we're going to go back and revisit them and see if maybe something's changed. So if you had maybe 1 or 2 muscles that didn't work, they might work this time, right? So let's check it out. So lay on your back, Bring your right leg on top of your left leg. Reach through and grab your left leg with both hands. Resist by trying to push your right leg out and away. And as you push out, that glute will activate. That's strength training. And then pull in for your stretch. The stretch should feel better, a little more stable. You might feel a little bit more ease in the movement, not as confused, which could be a learning curve, of course, because you did it before, but also because your muscles feel like they're doing the right thing. There's no compensation patterns. We've removed the barriers, and your body's not trying to get you out of this stretch anymore. And let's switch sides. So bring your left leg on top, reach through and grab your right leg with both hands, push out for strength, then pull in for your stretch. Finding that stretch in the outside of your hip, your glutes, right here on the left side. Should feel a little better, more strong, more stable. You might feel a little more happy, a little less confused, a little less frustrated, more relaxation. And all of a sudden, after problem solving, stretches become less like work and more like fun, right? That's kind of what we want. We want our body to feel good. So if you find that in any stretch you feel like you're working hard, if you feel exhausted doing the stretch, then by problem solving you can come back to it, and all of a sudden it's like it's playful, it's fun, it's exciting, your body feels good, it feels happy. You can celebrate the stretch and be thrilled to be there instead of like stretching, right? It feels good. Let's go into our splits in the air now. Bring your feet up towards the ceiling, turn your palms out and grab your knees. Squeeze your legs together and see if you can find this stretch now in your inner thighs. Maybe you get a little further this time. Maybe it feels better. Maybe you feel stronger. If you can breathe a little easier. And you just go back and forth, in for strength and out for stretch. And just be happy when you feel this good stretch. Something's different. Something's changed. Your body is adapted in a different way so that now this stretch can be a good stretch instead of a bad stretch, right? It can happen that quickly, which I think is amazing. This stuff blows my mind all the time. And I've been doing this a long time, you guys, a long time. Like this is my 13th year as a trainer and probably 17 years since I started learning this method. That's a long time, and it still blows my mind, which I love it. Okay, so now come into a lunge, bring your right leg in the front, the left leg behind, and you're going to pull with your right leg to bring you forward, and then use your back leg to pull you back, finding that stretch in your left hip, right in the front here in your hip flexor, and really enjoy the stretch now. You can celebrate it, right? Enjoy it. Feel the change. Feel the difference. Feel how you feel better in it. And if you still don't feel better, it's okay. There might be some other blocks, something coming from your upper body, something coming from other muscles in your lower body. That's possible. So maybe if that's the case, you just continue to skip the stretch, and then we can come back to it later. You could come back to it at the end of class on your own, or you could just come back to it on a different day, right? It's easy to do. So just go back and forth. Forward into your stretch, finding that stretch in the front here, and pull back for strength. And now let's switch sides. So now you're going to pull with your with your left leg, like you're trying to kick in towards your body. Your right leg is going to pull forward, and then you're going to use your left leg to pull you into this lunge. See if you can find that hip flexor stretch on the right side. My knee does feel better. It's still a little funny, but it feels better. I may have bruised it. I have been finding lockdown life is funny. I am like running around my house all the time from like the front to the back and moving things around, and I am getting bruises all over my legs. I don't know where they're coming from, but it's cracking me up. I'm just like, I apparently keep running into things. So how does the stretch feel for you? Does it feel better? Do you feel more in control of it? Does your balance feel easier? Do you feel like you can breathe, or that you can find some happiness and joy in this stretch? I hope so. I hope so. Okay, now let's go into our hamstring stretch so you can lay on your back. Bring your right leg up and grab the ball of your foot with both hands. You could also wrap a towel around your foot if you need it. And then you're going to kick your heel down towards your body, pull up for your stretch. Keep that resistance in your hamstring the whole time and see if you can find a better stretch there. Down for strength and up for stretch. Finding the hamstring right down the belly of the muscle. Just see how that feels. Down for strength and up for stretch. And again, if you skipped the stretch before, maybe it feels different now, right? Wouldn't that be awesome? If that's the case, you guys, give me a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Or write in the comment and tell me, oh my gosh, my hamstrings works. This is magic, right? Put a magician in the emoji in the comments. Down for strength and up for stretch. Let's do the other side. I already switched. I got excited about magicians. Kick down for strength. And as you're kicking down, you're going to pull up at the same time. So there's resistance the whole time. Your heel's always kicking down. Your arm is always pulling over your head. You find that stretch in both directions. Good. I hope you found some of the magic in that stretch too. Isn't it so cool? All right. Let's do a stretch for the back of your shoulders now. You can bring your right arm up. I'm going to mirror you. So bring your left arm up like you're pulling a train whistle. And then grab the outside of your elbow with your right hand and resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart. For resistance, you're going to push open to the left. This is your strength training and the muscle gets short. Then you're going to pull across to the right to get your stretch in the back of your shoulder. And just go back and forth. Take your time on this. Take a second to really internalize what you feel, right? Determine, is this a good stretch for you or is this not a good stretch? So a good stretch you would feel in the back of your shoulder here. It would feel good. You could breathe properly. You wouldn't feel like you're struggling. It wouldn't feel confusing. You just feel like you can open and close pretty easily, right? There wouldn't be any sensation in the front of your chest at all. The stretch would feel like it's in the muscle, like it travels through your back and your shoulder maybe, and not just in one specific spot. And the stretch shouldn't feel tiring or exhausting. You should just feel good doing the stretch. But if this stretch feels bad for you, then just switch sides. Don't do it. If you feel any pain, if you feel any discomfort, if the stretch makes you feel frustrated or you can't quite figure out the resistance, and also if you feel extreme fatigue in the stretch already, like if your shoulder is like burning immediately, we haven't done enough for you to be tired, right? Like not in the back of this muscle. So if you feel that resistance, like that fatigue right away, then that means that there's a problem. So just switch sides. We'll come back to this after we've done some other stretches and see if you can do this without fatigue, right? Okay, now bring your right arm up, grab your elbow with your left hand. You're going to push out to the right. This is strength training, and pull across to the left. And just pay attention. Do you feel a good stretch or a bad stretch? It would also be considered a bad stretch if you feel nothing. It's kind of funny because I just noticed here too. The reason we're doing problem solving, like I said before, is that I'm feeling a little beat up today. So I need problem solving for me. So that's why we're doing it. But in this stretch, as soon as I came up here, I felt a twinge in my right shoulder. It's mirrored, it's the left side, but I felt a little twinge on this side, and I feel nothing on this side. My body is basically sidestepping this stretch. It's like trying to get out of it. It's like somehow avoiding it, which is really interesting. And then that little piece of pain, if it was real life and I had that little piece of pain, I would not do that movement. I would probably figure out a different way to do it. So I'm going to skip that stretch and we're going to return to it later. Now you guys can also pay attention. It could be something really subtle like that. This movement itself does not feel bad to me. It just doesn't feel like anything. I feel nothing. I'm empty inside when I do this stretch. So that's not effective for me. That's not a good stretch. It's not effective. So you can skip it. Now the next stretch we're going to do, we're going to go up to the wall for. This is a push up against the wall. So you just bring your arms really wide, your elbows wide too, and you're just going to very slowly drop your body in towards the wall to open your chest up. Your resistance here is gravity. Because if you dropped your hands, you'd fall into the wall, right? So you are catching yourself, you're catching your body, And so you're pushing against the weight of your body, getting the stretch in your chest and shoulders, front of your shoulders here. Make sure you feel that stretch across the front of your chest. If you feel this in the back, it's a no-go. Just let it go. We'll return to it, okay? If you feel this in your neck, don't do it. If you don't feel anything at all, no-go. If this feels really tired, or even if your wrists hurt, even though it seems unrelated completely, then it's a no-go. If you feel back pain, let it go, right? Just do what feels good to you. Start listening to your body and recognizing what good stretches feel like and what ineffective stretches feel like. I hate to call them bad stretches because they're not really bad. I mean, I don't need to judge the stretch, poor things. But you know, your body may not be working very efficiently, and that's why you need stretching. That's why you're here. So we want to discover these inefficiencies and see if we can fix them. So if you notice it, take a second, get out of the stretch. We'll try again, okay? So next we're going to go into a tabletop position. What I want you to do is curl your shoulders in like you're trying to curl up into a ball. You're just trying to like close everything down here. When I do that, my spine rounds too. So I'm like really curled up into a ball. Then I'm going to push my hands into the floor, push my chest up to the ceiling, and let my arms open wide. So my chest really opens up, and I'm also going to bring my head back. That stretches my neck too. You should feel this in the front of your shoulders right here. Curling in for strength, push through your arms, and up for your stretch. Problems here would be feeling nothing, right? It would also be feeling something in the back of your shoulders, like between your shoulder blades or like deep in your back. It would be wrist pain, right? You might feel a stretch in your forearms. That would be okay. But if you feel any pain like here, where your wrist is folded, that would be a problem, all right? So if that's the case, just don't do the stretch. We'll return to it, okay? So find the stretch curling in and opening up. If it feels good to you, keep doing it. And for those of you who let that stretch go, you can have a seat. The rest of you can join in too. You're going to bring your right hand across your body. Put your left hand on top of your wrist. My arm is straight. And so my right arm is crossed over to the left side. I'm holding my wrist with my left hand. Then I'm going to resist like I'm trying to push up towards the ceiling. I'm just going to go up as far as my body feels good. So if you notice that like this doesn't feel good for your shoulders to go all the way up, it's okay to just go like this far. So you just go up for strength. Then I'm going to take my left arm and overpower my right hand and pull down so that I pull my wrist down towards my right hip. Keep your elbow straight. When you feel like you want to bend your elbow, that's when you stop. Then bring your head over to the left and see if you can find a neck stretch too. Did you guys hear that? That may have been my cat. Up for strength, and then pull down for your stretch. And then bring your head to the side. Sorry. Just makes me nervous because the windows are open. Hold on a second. Okay, you're good. I found her. Okay. Something clearly just broke. I don't know what it was, but yeah. Okay, so down and up, and your head to the side. Find your neck stretch on the right side. You can kind of nod your head a little bit and just go back and forth, up and down. Now, if this stretch doesn't feel great along the outside of your neck, then again, just skip it. Or if you don't feel anything, if you feel the other side, you might need to just fix that. Why did you break, Sari? What did you do? Yeah, something's broken. I'm glad you're okay. All right, bring your left arm across, so we'll do the other side. Grab your wrist with your right hand. You're going to push up for strength, and then just pull down for your stretch. When you get to the bottom here, bring your head over to the right this time. Okay, that's something outside. I just heard it again. I don't know if you guys can hear it. All right, and bring your head to the other side. Up for strength. And when you pull down, you're pulling across now to the to the right. Bring your head to the right and see if you can feel your neck stretch on the left and then the top of your shoulder. Now again, if this stretch doesn't feel good to you, then skip it because we're going to return to these stretches. You just love being on camera, huh? Yeah. Some of my students have started sending me pictures on my Facebook of their cats watching stretching class, which I think is hilarious. Send me pictures on my Facebook. It's Ki-Hara Chicago is my Facebook page, because this is a cat-friendly class. All right, so now bring your right arm up. Bring your left arm up, and we're going to revisit these stretches to see if we can get a little bit more activation, see if we can turn those bad stretches into good stretches. So bring your left arm up, grab your elbow with your right hand to resist like you're trying to pull both arms apart. Push open to the left and pull across to the right. See how that stretch feels for you. And just go back and forth. Does that say better? It's the better one. Yeah. So you open for strength and you close for your stretch. See if you can find that stretch in the back of your shoulder. I can feel this one okay. It's fine. Feels like a good stretch to me. You should feel it right back here. Kind of like around your shoulder blade too. That'd be okay. And then when you're ready to switch sides, bring your right arm up, grab your elbow with your left hand, push open for strength, continue resisting, and pull across, this time to the left. Oh, now I feel it. Oh, yay! It's magical. It's so crazy, you guys. Just a second, like 5 minutes ago, maybe a little longer, I don't know how long it's been, I couldn't feel this stretch at all. Now it feels fantastic. That's the difference. I'm happy now. Whereas before it just felt like a waste of time. It felt exhausting. It felt like hard work. Now it feels good. Now it feels productive. Now I can celebrate, right? I can enjoy the stretch for what it is. It's good stuff. So I'm going to do like 8,000 of them. I should stop now. So we can move on, right, Suri? Right? Let's do push-ups. You want to do push-ups? Okay, come back up to the wall. Make sure you're far enough away that you are not able to touch the wall with your hands if you were standing straight up. Then lean into the wall and let your arms be really wide with your elbows pointing right out to the side. Then all you do is drop in towards the wall, finding the stretch in the front of your chest and shoulders. If you felt it in the back before, maybe it's different now. Maybe you feel it. Maybe all that feeling in the back is gone and you can find the stretch here now. Maybe you feel stronger. Maybe you feel less fatigued, like you could do more of them. If your back hurt before, maybe it feels more stable, right? A little more core strength. It's so good. It's so, so good. And if you notice a difference in these stretches, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Give me thumbs up. Let me know if it works for you. All right. All right, Suri. Let's do our shoulders in the front. So you're going to go back into that crab walk position with your fingers pointing towards your feet. And you're just going to curl your shoulders in and then use your arms to push you forward, opening up your chest. Bring your neck back if it feels good. Your head back to stretch out your neck. And find that stretch in the front of your shoulders. Should be here. Could be through your forearms. You might notice your wrists here on the inside of your wrist, like the how do I call this? The forearm? These are the extensors. I don't know why I can't think of what that's called. Anyway, so if you feel it on the front here, then you want to keep skipping this stretch, okay? Just don't do it if it feels uncomfortable. But find this stretch right in the front of your shoulders and into your neck. Flexors. Your wrist flexors, your hand flexors. You just had a temporary brain freeze. Happens. It's Saturday morning. Oh, it's a good stretch. That feels great. Okay. Now let's come back to a seated position. You can sit however you want. You don't have to sit on your knees like this. You could even sit in a chair. You could sit cross-legged. Just do what feels right to you. Bring your right arm across your body. Grab your wrist with your left hand and resist like you're trying to pull both arms diagonally apart. Push up for strength. And then use your left arm to pull you back down. This is your stretch. When you get to the bottom, bring your head over to the side and find that stretch in your neck on the right. Up for strength and pull down for your stretch, bringing your head to the side. And just go back and forth. Up for strength and down for stretch. Find the stretch in a way that feels to you, so up for strength. And maybe your arm a little bit side, maybe your head a little bit different way. See if you can find a better stretch for you, right? Get a little deeper into that stretch if it feels good. But also notice how maybe your mood changed a little bit. How maybe before the stretch felt confusing or difficult, maybe now it feels a little easier, right? This stuff happens. And it's just really neuromuscular connections. It's all we're doing. We're working with your brain and how your brain works with your muscles. That's the fascinating part. Now bring your left arm across your body and grab your wrist with your right hand. Resist like you're pulling both arms diagonally apart. Push up for strength. Keep pushing up here with your left arm while you pull down with your right arm. As soon as you feel like you want to bend your elbow, then bring your head over to the side. Don't bend your elbow. See if you can find that stretch on the left side of your neck. And you just push up, this time pushing up to the left. As you pull across your body, you're pulling towards your right hip. Keep your elbow straight. When you feel that need to bend your elbow, just pause there. Keep resisting and pull your head over to the right. Maybe a little forward with your forehead to see if you can find that stretch in your neck. And you just go up and down. Are you okay there, Suri? You fell over. I don't even know what she's looking at. Is there something amazing on the ceiling? Yeah? You're just upside down cat today. This is Suri's Shavasana. It's a cat Shavasana. She needs a belly rub. Yeah, okay. So now that we've completed those stretches, let's go into some stretches for our lower body again. I think maybe today, let's start off with our medial hamstring. So you're going to lay on your back. Bring your left leg up so that your knee opens up to the left about 45 degrees. And then grab your heel with your left hand. You'll kick down with your heel into your thumb. This will give you resistance in this muscle right here on the inner part of your hamstring. You want to find that resistance and then pull up for your stretch. You're pulling up and out to the left. It's just a diagonal stretch. So as you kick down, you're kicking towards the midline of your body. As you pull up, you're pulling up towards the wall, but a little bit on a diagonal because your hip is externally rotated. So I'm not actively pulling to the left. I'm just pulling up, but because of the angle my leg's on, it goes out to the side a little, okay? I like to grab my big toe when I do the stretch, so you're welcome to do that too. It's just whatever feels good to you. Seems like a good thing to grab onto. You should feel this here on the inner thighs, and if you don't feel that, just skip it. Just don't do this stretch, and we'll come back to it in a second, okay? We'll revisit it when we want to. You could pay attention to those things, like what makes the stretch a good stretch? What makes a stretch a bad stretch or an ineffective stretch? So an effective stretch, you would feel this muscle here in the inner part of your hamstring, the inner thigh almost. If you feel anything different or nothing at all, then that's just a sign that like that's not your stretch. You knocked over the candle. Don't worry, you guys, they're electric. There we go. Okay, so now bring your right leg up and open your knee up to the side and then grab your heel with your right hand. You're going to kick down towards the midline of your body to activate that hamstring and then pull up. This time you'll go out to the right a little bit because your knee is on an angle to the right. Oh my gosh, the body's so funny, you guys. I don't know what I did yesterday, but this leg's a mess. I don't feel this hamstring here. I actually feel cramping here. It's like a dull pain in my hip. I also feel my outer hamstring here. So this is a case for me of completely abandoning the stretch. I'm going to fake it so that you guys can see what I'm doing, but I'm not actually going to do the stretch anymore because it is not effective for me. It's a complete waste of time. But it won't be later because we'll come back to it after we clean up some stuff. The next stretch we're going to go into is for our quads. Oh, Suri took our quad towel. The reason why that towel's on the floor over there by the wall is so that I can put my knee on it to do this stretch. So we're going to have a little cat fight right now. Okay, Bubba, move it. I need to do my quad stretch now. You go here. There we go. Okay, so now on your hands and knees to start, take your right leg and put it up against the wall so your foot will be flat on the wall and your knee will be on the towel. Now, you can also just use your mat or a pillow or whatever feels good to you, or if you have carpeted floors, it might be fine to just put your knee on the floor. But you're going to want to regulate this stretch by adjusting where the towel is. So if I bring the towel further away from the wall, it'll be less intense. If I put the towel really close to the wall, it'll be more intense. So you can just adjust that way, okay? Then I'm going to bring my left leg up so that I come up into a lunge. Again, you want to be able to come up into a full lunge and feel safe in this neutral position. If you don't feel safe, if this stretch is too intense, then just bring your knee further away from the wall. Just slide that towel out just a little bit. That'll change everything. From here, you're going to push both legs in outward directions. So my back leg is going to push into the wall. My front leg is going to push forward in the direction of my cat. So from here, I'm going to use my back leg to push me forward. My front leg is going to push me back into the stretch. And I feel my quad stretch here. It's good. And then I go back and forth. Now, again, remember what would make an ineffective stretch? Pain. So if you have knee pain, get out of it. If you have a cramp, like in your foot or your hamstring, get out of it. It's not useful. If your balance is bad, also not good, right? If this stretch is so intense that you can't breathe or talk while you're doing it, then get out of it. If you're cursing me right now because this is so intense, get out of it. But if this stretch feels good, go for it. If you feel your quad stretching here, if it feels effective, if you feel stable and safe, then you're good, okay? If you really want to do the stretch, but like this is just too intense, bringing your knee further away from the wall might make this stretch more accessible, or moving in a small range of motion might feel accessible. So you could do that too, okay? All right, let's go ahead and switch sides. So bring your hands down, come out of your lunge, take your left leg and put it on the towel so that your foot comes against the wall with your foot flat, and your other leg comes around to the front. And then you'll just go back and forth, pushing your back leg into the wall to push you forward and using your front leg to push you back. Find that quad stretch in the left side and just go back and forth. Forward for strength and back for stretch. Now notice a couple, cramping. That's a big sign. I told you guys I'm a mess today. So I'm going to fake this stretch from now on because I'm not going to bother doing it because my foot cramped. If you notice that you have any cramping, foot cramping, hamstring cramping, calf cramping, get out of it. If you feel knee pain, it's not your stretch, right? If you feel like you're going to fall over, or if you have already fell over, not your stretch, right? If you can make this stretch more effective by working in smaller ranges of motion or by pulling your knee further out, then you're okay. And if the stretch feels really good in your quad in the front, then you're good to stay with it, okay? Right, Suri? I love her. She's a great cat. She's a great stretching class cat, right? Okay, when you're ready to come out of this stretch, hands down first, then come out of your lunge. Move your cat and have a seat on your mat. Go ahead and lay on your back. We're going to work on our lateral hamstring this time. This is for the outside hamstring here. Now you might need a rope or a strap for this one depending on how well you can reach your foot. But what you're going to do is bring your right foot up, your right knee in towards your chest, take your left arm and reach over and grab the outside of your foot with your left hand. So it's my right leg, my left hand, opposites. Now notice how your left arm is on a diagonal now. It goes across your body. You want your right leg to be on that same diagonal, so you're going to turn your knee internal. If you can't figure this out, Sit the stretch out, just watch it. We're going to return to it later, okay? So you'll kick down for strength, internally rotating your legs so your knee and your elbow are touching. Kick down and then pull up. Because your legs in this internal rotation, it's going to look like you're pulling diagonally across your body. Okay, your knee right over your sternum. Your foot is going to come over your left ear. So I'm stretching my right leg on a diagonal across my body, and I feel the stretch on the outer part of my hamstring here. If you feel any pinching, especially in your inner thighs, like in your groin area, your hip flexors, then you can stop doing this stretch. If you want, you can get a towel. That would make the stretch a little easier if you can't reach. But if it's really hard, if this is really confusing for you, just skip it, okay? We will return to this stretch, I promise. Down for strength and up for stretch. Find the good stretch for you. And then when you're ready, let's switch sides. So bring that leg down, bring your right leg up and in. Your left leg. Bring your left leg up and in. Take your right arm and grab the outside of your foot. Your right arm now is on a diagonal. Make your leg on that same diagonal. So you're going to turn your knee in towards your elbow, and your foot will kick out a little bit towards where you're grabbing it on the outside. If you need a towel or a strap to extend, that's fine. Just wrap it around your foot. Hold the towel or the strap in your right hand. Then kick your heel down towards the edge of your glutes. You're kicking kind of towards the left side of your body. Then keep the knee turned in as you pull up so that your foot comes up over your right ear. Down for strength and up for stretch. It's a diagonal across your body. So your knee stays turned in over your sternum, over your chest, and your right arm pulls you into the stretch. You should feel the outer part of your hamstring muscle and the outer thigh. If you feel anything on your inner thighs, just skip the stretch. If you feel anything uncomfortable, if it feels confusing, if you can't breathe, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, just let it go. We'll come back to it. We'll work some magic. Down for strength and up for your stretch. And let's go ahead into our next stretch, which is for the groin muscles. What did you find? A twist tie? Go get it. Okay. Bring your feet together like a butterfly. Butterfly stretch. I don't really know why people call this butterflies. I guess because these are your wings. I don't know. So now my feet are together. My knees are open. I'm going to put my forearms on my knees. If this is uncomfortable for you already, it might feel better for you to sit on something like a towel or a pillow or even like a yoga block or some books. Just raise your hips up off the ground a bit. That'll feel a lot better. Then you're going to push down with your elbows and kind of sweep open. Let your knees come in. Oh boy, sorry. Just a lot of playing happening. Use your arms to open you up into the stretch. Your legs still fight as you're coming into the stretch. You'll feel your inner thighs. Feel it here. If you feel anything in your outer thighs, like in the hips and the outside in your glutes, anything there, or if you don't feel anything at all, it's a problem. So you can skip this stretch, okay? Just wait it out because we're going to return to it in a second. Sorry, you goofball. In for strength and open for your stretch. Now, a good stretch would feel like a good deep inner thigh stretch right here, high in the groin area. It'll feel happy, it'll feel good, it'll feel like peaceful and joyful, not tired. Maybe a little shaky, that would be okay, but nothing too intense. If it does feel intense, if it feels like really just nasty, like you just don't feel good about it, don't power through, because problem solving will fix that feeling. A good effective stretch will feel good to you. It won't feel bad, okay? And like I said before, when people first do Ki-Hara, sometimes only 20% of their muscles will activate the first time through. So don't beat yourself up if you're not finding activation. Just wait, and we may be able to activate them right now as we go back and revisit these stretches. Or it may take a week or two of, doing some of these videos on a regular basis. I know some clients who have more pain, like especially people with pretty severe pain or chronic pain, notice that it takes them, like 5 or 6 classes, maybe up to 10 classes before they really start to get full activation. But 10 classes is not a lot of classes, you guys. It's not a lot. It's actually pretty amazing when you think about that. That's about, if you did this 3 times a week, that's about 3 weeks plus, right? I mean, to get rid of your pain, I think that's pretty amazing, right? At least to help get rid of it if we can, or to like make some sort of change, right? So let's go into our medial hamstring stretch again. You're going to lay on your back. Take your right leg and let your knee open up to the right. Grab your heel with your right hand or your toe. You could even wrap a strap or a rope around your foot to extend your arm. And then kick down for strength and pull up for your stretch. You're pulling up to the right. And see if you can find that stretch in your inner thigh this time. Now, before I was really feeling nicky in this one. It's a little better this time. I can definitely access it, so that's good. Down for strength and up for stretch. I don't feel my quad so much anymore. I do feel my lateral hamstring still wanting to jump in, so I'm going to see if I can really slow it down and access that stretch in the best way. Down for strength and up for stretch. And sometimes even, like if I'm in class or if students in class, and if I know that I can feel it out here, I can just go back into that lateral hamstring stretch. Do a couple of those, retrain that muscle, and then come back to medial hamstring. You can flip around. Do what your body needs, right? That changes it a bit. So that's good. That's good stuff. All right, the other side. Bring your left leg up. Let your knee open up to the left. Grab your heel or your big toe with your hands. It's the left hand. You're going to kick down for strength and pull up and away for your stretch. Again, because you're externally rotated, you can feel this in the inner part of your hamstring here, and it seems like you're pulling to the left, but you're really just pulling up and down, okay? So you're pulling up, but because your leg's on the diagonal, it'll go over your left ear. Find that stretch in the way that feels the best to you. And again, if it still doesn't feel good, it's okay. We'll just revisit it on a different day. So just come back on another day. I do these classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 Central Time, and also Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 a.m. Central. Holy cow, Surrey, what have you done to this room? Okay, back to our towel to do our quad stretch. So you're going to come down onto all fours. Bring your right leg up so that your knee sits close to the wall on your towel or on your mat or whatever you have to cushion your knee, your foot flat. And you're going to bring the other leg around to the front and come up into a lunge. From here, push your back leg into the wall, push your front leg forward, and just go back and forth. So you push forward for strength, and you come back for your stretch. Finding that stretch in your quad. This one feels a lot better for me. The last time I think I cramped, was it this side or the other? I can't remember. And so find that quad stretch right here through the front of your quad, front of your thigh, and just pay attention to what feels good to you. Maybe your balance is a little better. Maybe you feel more stable, more solid, maybe a deeper stretch, maybe a more effective stretch. Maybe you just feel happier in this stretch. You can enjoy it. You can play with it instead of feeling so like burdened by it, right? Sometimes a bad stretch just feels kind of like a burden. So take your time, enjoy the stretch. Feel happy, celebrate it. It's like, good job, quad. Sometimes, I like to, you're a good quad. You're good, just give it a pat, It's doing a good job. Okay, so now bring your hands down. Switch legs. So we'll just shift our towel, put the left leg up on the towel, bring your other leg around to the front, and you're going to resist like you're pushing both legs in opposite directions. So my back leg pushes into the wall, my front leg's pushing forward, and you just go back and forth. So you use your back leg to push you into the stretch, your front leg, or that's strength training that way, your front leg pushes you into the stretch as you come back towards the wall. And again, you just want to feel this nice stretch right in the belly of your thigh, in the quad, right in the front of your thigh. And if for some reason it doesn't feel good or you're still not quite right on this one, it's okay, just skip it. We will just keep coming back to these stretches. So forward for strength, and we'll come back for stretch. Enjoy the stretch. Relish in the change. Something's different, something's new, right? Enjoy it. It's good stuff. All right, and when you're ready, hands down. All right. How are we doing? I hate to keep you guys super long. Oh, perfect. We are perfect. All right, lay on your back. Bring your right leg up and pull your knee in close to your chest and take your left arm over top to grab the outside of your foot. Turn your knee in towards your elbow so that your leg is on the same diagonal as your left arm. You'll kick down for strength and pull up and across for your stretch. Finding the stretch in the outer part of your hamstring right through here. Down for strength and up for stretch. See if you can enjoy the stretch a little bit more than the last time. Maybe it doesn't feel as frustrating. Maybe it feels more effective. Maybe a deeper stretch, right? Something wonderful, I hope. And then when you're ready to switch sides, go for it. So bring your left leg up. Take your right arm and grab the outside of your foot. So you reach over your shin and grab that foot. You'll turn your knee in towards your elbow so that your left leg is on the same diagonal as your right arm. And you kick down for strength and pull up for stretch. And it's a back and forth, down and up. Find that stretch in the outer part of your hamstring, in the back of your thigh. The one that's the most to the left. You'll feel it mostly on the left part of your hamstring. Hi, Sari. There's a part of me that thinks that Suri needs a new friend, like a kitten. I think she needs a kitten. What do you guys think? Get a kitten? That would make class insane if I had kittens. Forget it. Okay, so now let's come up into a butterfly position. Put your elbows on your knees. You're going to push down and sweep open for this stretch. Push in for strength and push open for stretch. Find the stretch in your inner thighs and your groin area. Pushing in for strength and open for stretch. You may notice that this feels different now. Maybe less pain, maybe a little bit more stable, maybe feels stronger. Maybe for those of you who felt nothing, maybe you can find that stretch now. Maybe you can find a little bit of activation in your groin muscles. That'd be awesome, right? Oh, it's a good one. In for strength and open up for your stretch. Finding that stretch in your inner thighs. Oh, so good. All right, my friends. You did great. I assume you did great. I mean, I can't see you, but you know. You know you did great. You know you did. All right, for those of you who want to help give back to the channel, people always ask, like, how can I give back? I just made this little thing. Well, look at this. The best, most perfect, amazing thing that you can do is subscribe to the channel. Just look down in the corner. There's a little button that looks like a play button. Click that button and subscribe. When I have enough subscribers, then I can actually film these live classes through YouTube, which I hope means that they won't be so fickle. Like, we won't have the, like, pixelated stuff. So subscribe, please subscribe. But also because you'll get all of my stretching videos in your subscriptions folder, which means that you can visit them later. They're easy to find, right? And you'll know whenever I go live. I also have a button down below in the description box for how to donate to the channel. This channel is run completely by donations. So if you guys feel like contributing, feel free. Tell your friends if you like this form of stretching. If this feels really good to you, let people know. Give me a thumbs up now, especially if you really liked class, and let me know in the comments, especially for those of you who I haven't seen in a while. Let me know in the comments if you do this video so that I know who's around me and whose energy is in these classes, okay? I love you guys. I hope you're all doing well. Remember that we have class again on Monday at 11 a.m. Central Time. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday at the 11 o'clock time, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday at 9 a.m. Central. Okay? Have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.